I'll be honest. I loved India. There's so many things I've missed from India, being in the West
Yeah,
and so forth, and I loved being there. But there was other things as well where it always used to kind of like the poverty that used to really get.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. I think religion and poverty goes hand in hand. If I can explain it, like I wouldn't say explain, it's a theory. It has to do with caste.
yeah,
In a way, it's like the reason people believe anything which a religion says is how they are brought up, like in the caste, like once they push you down in the caste and you're not allowed education or like kind of I know the oppression is still there, like slowly they'll push you down in places where you're not supposed to be. You're not given access to any of these information,
yeah,
and all these people have what they have now. The internet is there, I'm thankful, like people are learning, but it's you could still get thrown off, but like they don't have access to information to, how will I say this, yeah, they don't have enough access to information, so and they end up believing whatever who's above them are saying, and they have no choice but to trust them enough, and these guys do it in such a smart way that their hands are not dirty.
right.
Know
Because
what I mean?
the other thing as well, like you
Yeah,
being Tamil and the caste you are, because
yeah,
you actually trained and you actually did engineering, didn't you? And I know
yeah.
I didn't actually explain your background. Is actually you actually you still work for Netflix? Is that right? Doing the
But the clients are, it's a company called Deluxe, but yeah, I mean we work with all studios basically
yeah.
for post production. Yeah,
Yeah, and then I think, and then obviously I remember you trained as an engineer. So it's like,
yeah,
now say years ago you trained as an engineer. Obviously, you had the intelligence to train as an engineer and do so things. Right?
yeah,
Well, you had to, didn't you? You obviously got your degree and stuff. And I don't
yeah,
think
yeah. Hated it, but yes, I had
you didn't
to.
flag it. I don't think. I hope not.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Otherwise,
yeah.
I'm made to look really
Yeah,
stupid.
I'm not building any bridges. It won't survive. I am not putting myself through it. Like I can do theoretically. I'm not doing the other work. But
Yeah, no.
like,
But so yeah, so I think that's the other thing as well because this is another thing I think of myself. If say my great grandmother was born in Tamil Nadu, right, and because there's always a margin of error may have not happened,
yeah,
but what we worked out with the DNA is her father was Persian and
yeah,
was Tamil, so and she was quite light, so but that may be because she was brought up in England, I don't know, but she did have
yeah,
like my mum actually tans really well, my grandma tanned really well. I for
yeah.
some reason must have like Irish blood because I can't
Got
get
it. Yeah.
but I'm
Didn't have
literally
the Tamil skin.
yeah, my
Yeah.
Tamil skin's like gone. but
Yeah.
but I always wonder that is that imagine like if my great grandmother she was brought up as an orphan in that caste, born in 1900, grew up in that caste, then she had husband, children. How different my life would have been by the generation I got to meet. How different that would
Yeah.
have been. It's
Yeah.
it's quite remarkable that the fact is for some reason what happened is she was this orphan, and they actually what they did is it's actually quite a terrible story. Really, is that the
Right.
English actually got these orphans, and instead of them being stuck in an orphanage as these babies, they took them, went on a boat from then was called Madras, and went to
Yeah.
England, and then gave these babies then were adopted by wealthy families. So
That's
so my
basically an Angelina Jolie from
yeah,
the
yeah,
1800s. Yeah.
yeah, 1900. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, like for example, my great grandmother, her English name was Annie Sarah something Perskler. That was her surname. So it's like this very posh name. Came from
Yeah.
well, I mean, there's in the Perskler family, though she was adopted. There's actually Turner is one of my relatives, the painter. Well, if she was biologically, Turner's one
Mhm.
of my relatives. I've got and the guy called Amos Cave, who used to be, he was actually one of Queen Elizabeth I's advisors. He actually
Oh.
funded Cambridge and Oxford. This is guy, he actually was a sir by the age of 21. There's all these people
Oh.
in the family. It's mad. It's like, but again, they're not biological, but
Yeah.
it's like when I look at it, I think just by that change of a circumstance,
Right.
how that changes what my life is.
Right.
So,
Right.
because it could have been like, My grandma was born in Madurai. That's where she was. Madurai, I think it's Madurai. Madurai.
Madurai, Madurai, yeah, yeah.
That's where she was born. So the likeness of
Wow.
life would have been then then all the generations would have been totally different. So it's just I think it's really interesting how that's degrees of separation, how we can all be related. That's something I always think of spirituality. I think we are somehow everybody's got some kind of relation to someone somewhere down the line, distant, but it is just
Right,
that I've always thought that kind of interesting idea that people have moved, and because people have moved, they've married a certain person, and that's
right,
changed that direction who they are. Why they
right,
changed the lineage.
right. Did you
But
find out where she, like, did you come to, or any of the family, any of your family came back to see where she was from, or like did they try to
no,
find
no, they
out
literally
something
it
like
was more or less she was a baby taken from India and was brought up like an English. I
that?
mean, well,
English
actually, you can
woman.
see a photo. Like you can see she's got Indian hair, and they've like tried to style it like a Westerner.
Yeah, like yeah,
So she's
okay.
got this like weird kink in her hair, and she's got
Yeah,
like it's really strange when you look at these photos because it's just like I think
yeah.
we only got like three photos of her, and
Mhm.
but you see like my grandma, my great grandmother died when she was she died on the third baby trying to give it birth to it, and she was 39. So my grandma was
Right,
14 when her mother died. So so she really didn't would have been very. She was then sent off to live with her aunties because it was 1939, which was the eve of the Second World War. So basically, my
right,
grandfather didn't know how to bring up a daughter on his own. He had no idea. Back then it was
right.
the mother brought up the daughter. It
What's
was
up?
the children. So I just think it's just interesting how that sometimes happens.
Yeah,
How it all
stroke of
links.
luck.
Well, yeah, it was interesting because I know the first time when I went to the Nadi astrology temple, the bloke said to me like, there, the reader, sorry, the bloke, the reader said to me like, you do realise how you're linked here, and I thought, here we go, he's going to try and get loads of money out of me because when
Yeah,
people,
yeah, yeah. Some
but
will surprise you. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, but then it was like, then he read the scroll leaf, and this guy was with me, and he was going, no, that's actually. This is inscribed to you, like, and he's like reading all this stuff.
Yeah,
Now this is weird because I'm thinking, how the hell would they have a ancient Tamil scriptured leaf?
yeah, yeah.
And I find that was pretty. I mean, that was 2 days after Christmas Day, and I was trying to
Yeah.
record what was going on. Phone died, iPad died. I was just like, man, there's some weird spiritual crap here.
Yeah, it's yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that's what
I know about these, yeah.
Yeah, and the other one as well. I think even when I was going around that temple, because I had to go, they showed me around the temple before, because I was just like, oh, I don't want to go around this temple. After being with you, you just get bored of it. But they showed me around this temple, and I remember they gave me this like black pepper and salt, and oh my god,
Wow.
like it felt like on fire. And
Yeah, yeah,
I thought, oh god, like this is really like powerful. It felt like like the time when you really need a shit. That's what it felt like,
yeah,
but I couldn't
yeah,
go.
yeah, yeah.
And
Hiroshima.
yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
But when I was going around the temple, what was really interesting was this old Tamil lady was there, and she was very old. She must have been in her 90s, really old. And
yeah.
and I remember I was going around this whole thing, and they gave me this and painted bits on my head, and I'm saying, oh,
Yeah,
Westerner. They didn't have Westerners come down there or anything.
yeah.
And I remember this woman. She was trying to get up to one of the idols, because you pat it or give it a gift or whatever, and she
Right.
started talking to me, and I thought she's talking to me, and she's talking to me like ancient Tamil, like this was not just normal Tamil, and I just started
Yeah,
talking to her back. I had no idea where that came from, and I was just like saying, "Da-da-da-da-da," and I was like thinking in my head, I'm going like, I can't speak Tamil. I've got no idea what any word in Tamil is, and I just started talking to her, and her family were just like looking at me, and then they go, but you're English. And I'm like, I know. I said, but I got no idea what's going on. And I'm talking.
damn, they,
So there's things like that in India, which to me was so profound, and I couldn't explain it. And to me,
right,
but then
right.
the other side of it is thinking, had I taken mushrooms before I got there, which I hadn't,
Yeah, yeah,
there's
yeah, no,
maybe
yeah.
the salt was cocaine or something or LSD. I don't know, but it
Uh,
just gets so strange.
Not to sound like an American white woman, but it's the energy.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know how to. I've seen these. I know exactly. Like I have seen exorcisms, and they were like real, like in front of my eyes.
It's weird.
Like,
It's like when it
yeah,
happened because, you know,
yeah,
I'd gone to Pondicherry. I thought, oh, I'm going to see Oroville, and then I thought, oh, I'm going to see this Nadi Astrology Temple. I didn't expect much. I just thought I'd go there, see how it works. They won't find a reading for me. I kind of was like, nah, nah.
right,
I went actually why I came to India because I was told 3 years before by a guru, and I met him in this temple in London, and he sat with me and he started like he tapped my head, and I thought, oh, what are you doing tapping my head? Tapped my head, and he said, you know your ancestry's from India. I was like, really?
that's it.
And I just thought, yeah, yeah, of course, like typical Westerner, yeah, yeah. That's like maybe I was saying like my dad was like, Raj down the corner shop or something, just whatever.
Yeah,
And but but he explained it to me and he said, no, you need to go to the Nadi Astrology Temple, and he told me where to go, and I was just
right.
like, okay, that's very specific.
Specific. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay, okay.
yeah.
I hear you, bro.
And I just thought, okay, I'll listen to him. And then it was all kind of like, I was thinking, right, let's go to India. And I sort of thought, oh, I'm only going to go for a month.